Hey there, this is Dr. Evan Osar, author of the Corrective Exercise Solutions to Common Hip and Shoulder Dysfunction, and author of the soon-to-be-released Psoas Solutions. Welcome to video 3 of this 3-part video series of Integrative Movement Insider, training the psoas and glute complex in your general population clients. Recall from the first 2 videos we discussed the functional role of the psoas and glutes is to collectively provide stability to the trunk, spine, pelvis, and hip complex. We use our corrective exercise strategy, alignment, breathing control, to set up better alignment, 3-dimensional breathing, and functional control of the thoracolpelvic cylinder, because that will ultimately help position the hip in a better place so that now we can start to use the glutes appropriately. In the last video, we looked at how do we train the psoas as part of the core system to help provide thoracolpelvic cylinder stability, and now we're going to use that concept as we start to train our glutes. Recall also from video 1, we discussed how so many of our clients have too much abdominal gripping and our posterior hip gripping that drives that femoral head forward, pulls the pelvis into posterior pelvic tilt, and keeps the spine in lumbar spine flexion. And that's why it's so important that through our corrective exercise strategy, we use the principles of the integrative movement system, alignment, breathing, and controls, those foundational ABCs, to set up better alignment, breathing, and control of that thoracolpelvic cylinder, because that's how we're ultimately now going to start to train the glute complex. The most important thing we teach our general population clients, we must load eccentrically. Because here's what a lot of our clients are doing. They're stuck in a posterior pelvic tilt, or they don't have a good ability to get anterior. So when they go into their squat pattern or deadlift pattern, they stay posteriorly tilted, or they start to bend forward and they stay posteriorly tilted. They can't eccentrically load the glutes by going anterior. Very few of our clients have anterior pelvic tilt, and very few of them get appropriate anterior pelvic tilt or rotation of the pelvis over top of the femoral heads through their motion, so they can't effectively load the glutes. And that's the most important thing that we teach our clients, and we teach as part of our certification program in training the hip complex and lower extremity patterns. So here's how we start this process with our clients. We like the split stance position and the split squat pattern to train this eccentric control. However, you can use whatever pattern you want, squat, hip hinge, things like that, because it's all the same concept. We have our clients go into split stance position, long spine, and a thoracolpelvic cylinder alignment so that we best align the hip complex where it should be. They'll put their hands upon their pelvis because I want them to feel and understand, I want them to go anterior as they start to load into this pattern. So I want them moving anteriorly as far as they can while maintaining alignment of the hip, knee, ankle, foot, and that thoracolpelvic cylinder. That will eccentrically load the glute max as part of that posterior hip complex, and now they lift up as if they're moving forward. So they keep anterior pelvic tilt, eccentrically loading that posterior hip complex, maintaining, and then lift up as if they're moving forward. We do not have them squeeze and drive under, more into posterior pelvic tilting and lumbar spine flexion and driving that femoral head forward. We keep them in anterior pelvic tilt, and then they come back up as if they're stepping forward, and don't tell them to squeeze. The glutes will work appropriately if you've gotten them lined up appropriately and taught them how to get that anterior pelvic tilt. From the front, same concept. Long spine position, thoracolpelvic cylinder aligned, moving to anterior pelvic tilt, load up that posterior hip complex, and now step or come up as if you're going to step forward. So most of the weight stays on this forward leg. Load, come up as if you're going to step forward towards the camera. What a lot of our clients are doing is they don't get good eccentric loading, so they start to shift out in that direction. They start overloading eccentrically through the frontal plane. That's a non-optimal strategy that will lead to this chronic TFL tightnesses, the lateral hip issues, the IT band issues, and some of those QL and low back issues. Get them aligning that thoracolpelvic cylinder, get them moving their pelvis into anterior pelvic tilt and sitting back in their hips so they eccentrically load the glute complex appropriately, and then they have a strategy for using their glutes appropriately. And that strategy is so effective for improving gluteal function and overall hip function in our clients that have those chronic hip tightnesses, impingements, and degenerative changes. So we use it through split stance positions, parallel stance, we use it through our squats, deadlifts, hip hinges, all our bending patterns to help improve that eccentric loading and use of the glutes, and helping them understand how to control, align and control the thoraco-pelvic cylinder. If you enjoyed these videos, if you like the information of how to train the psoas and glutes in your general population clients, then check out corrective exercise strategies for training the psoas and glute complex. I have over 2 hours of information that I put together on the psoas and glute and the corrective exercise strategies we use with our own general population clients to improve alignment, to improve posture, to improve, most importantly, movement patterns, and help your clients do the fundamental movement patterns so they feel better, obviously move better, and can do the things they need to, want to, and love to do. So this is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Insider. If you're looking for more information, click below this video to learn more about this program, and I'll catch you next time at Integrative Movement Insider. Take care.